So I was like, well, debating if I wanted to, and I was like, okay, whatever. Uh, Bronny James. We're gonna go straight to it. Uh, I guess kind of the apparent. I was like, they're gonna be hoopla one. You're LeBron James kid, and the prospects of what you are trying to go to the NBA and stuff. So let's go ahead, get it straight out the way. Yes, he's getting this opportunity because of his dad, nepotism, whatever you want to say. Now, I mean, most of the world, especially also in sports, I was like, guess what? You're going there's nepotism everywhere. I know most of the time we look at it as like, oh, that's like you hooking your family up, but I was like, your family, friends, all that other stuff. Which I mean, to be honest, I feel like a good 98% of everybody is pretty much if they had whatever you had, you're giving a hookup to someone you're close to, which is some form of that. So we will all do it. Now, what you do afterwards, that depends. I was like, because if you keep getting shot after shot after shot, then that's when the nepotism started to be a little bit like a lot. But let's be honest, that's the reason why a lot of people, I was like, look, the Lakers got Scottie Pippen Jr. and they had Shaq's kid, they had Max Christie, who are all NBA former. I was like, they dads are NBA players, and guess what? They're gonna get a look on that being that because of that. Thanasis is on the Bucks because of Giannis. I was like, I forget his name, but J.R. Smith's younger brother was on the Knicks when he was playing there. Um, yeah, so I mean, this is a thing that happens constantly. Whether it's your dad or whatever like that. It's just that LeBron is. It's really because LeBron is playing at the same time. Like if LeBron was been retired for 5 years and then Bronny was coming up, this would still be a story because he would still get a shot even based on his stuff, but it wouldn't be as bad if he wasn't playing. Now, getting that aside, because other prospect with his type of stuff would not be getting a shot or a workout. You would just be hopeful that someone seeing you play ball, but you're probably going overseas. Um, Now where the nepotism I guess comes in is where you're like that could go to somebody else that would have probably been drafted with the potential, but now you're kicking somebody out that's probably gonna be undrafted or whatever. But the thing with the NBA is, yo, you got a shot. I mean, not necessarily great, and yes, it's easier if you get drafted, especially in a sport like that compared to like football, where it's like, oh, you get somebody that was undrafted make the team. Um, with saying that, Bronny and what he's looking at of like got a good 3-point shot. I was like defensive guy. Uh, it looked like I was like he's going to have to play the point. Um, I guess what you want to think of is who can he be in the league, and I don't know about necessarily ceiling, but I guess with Florida, I seen like people say like Patrick Beverly, and I was like, okay, but I was like, to me, I'm like that might be a little bit low. I was thinking like DeAndre Melton, somebody who's like 6'2". I was like, he played the point sometimes, but he's really sometimes the two guard spot, but he could defend really well. Cause the thing that Bronny has that's really good is his wingspan. So it was like he won't be ate up too much on when if he happens to be with another guard or whatever, or if he has to play like twos or whatever, depending on whoever two is. Like to me, I was like, it just depends on where he goes. Um, I was thinking somebody like Reggie Jackson, where Reggie Jackson's like 6'2", 6'3", but he got really ridiculous arms. I was like, I think he's like almost like he had like almost a 7-foot wingspan. He had something crazy. I was like, but he was with Oklahoma City and went to the Pistons where he showed you, and then it was the Clippers where it's like I was like, not that he's not the defensive guy, but I was like, but I was like, but he could shoot and he could score fairly okay, and then his offensive game got better, and he was able to develop into a starting point guard before he started being like, I was like, he had his own team, of course. I was like, he wasn't able to lead that, but he could show that he could start in the league, and I was like, but he was a backup first, and then he went to the six man. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it's like, okay, who can he be until like he like either he can develop more or he can just carve out a good role. Um, Now the thing is like him being drafted. You know, people are like, oh, like in the second round, the 50-50 pick or whatever, 50th pick, somewhere like that. I'm not gonna lie, I think he's gonna sneak into the first round. That's just me. Not lottery, but I think he's going to sneak into like the late portion of the first round. I do. I don't know if he's going to be in the second round, just because I don't know if you leave for a second round. I was like, I feel like you leave if you know you go into the first. It gives you a little bit more guarantee that you're gonna be on the spot. Where it's like second, you know, you don't know, cause I was like, cause that's where it's like, okay, cool, your daddy got you drafted, but second round, you might be on the bench, G League, that kind of thing. I think you go to, but I like you need to go to certain teams to me in order to, you know, where he can sort of come in and it's like, okay, maybe like if you already got a team that already have like a point forward type, like if you got drafted to the Nuggets, I think that's a good pick. He could develop there. Jokic is the point guard. I was like, you also got Jamal Murray there, so it's like you don't have to be the next point guard, you know, de facto in that type of way. You can sort of they got a system there. You got big bodies to also help you out, and you can knock timely threes down. That's where like places that he needs to sort of go. Not where like not New York, well hell no, not especially not New York. Philly, they got Maxi. No, I was like, uh, the Bucks would. I was like, they got Dame, but the Bucks wouldn't be bad. I don't think. Um, I was like, just because you could have somebody like after like Dame, even though he can't really play necessarily with Dame, but they got enough big bodies there to also protect them. Um, you know, I'm trying. I was like, cause I was like, you either need like a big two guard to go with him, or you need someone like how Kyrie is able to be a shooting guard because he got 6'8" Luka being the point guard. You know, um, I was like, if the Bulls and it was Lonzo, that wouldn't be bad. Lonzo 6'5", and you know, like that's not that bad. Uh, Amelo, I was like, that wouldn't be bad because he's 6'6". He's a point guard. He's gonna take all those other responsibilities where you just gotta go out here and defend and shoot, but you don't have to be matched up on the two guard or nothing like that because you can't have a small backcourt. Is what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah, so I was like, you gotta be. I was like, you gotta figure out and be smart with it. Now the other thing is people saying like in regards to having like NBA talent and stuff like that. I think that he does, and the reason I say that is because I'm like, just because his stats don't show it doesn't mean that he can play in the NBA. Because I'm like, playing in college does not mean you can play in the NBA because you're good here, because you're good there. Just because I was like, it's systems in college where the NBA is a lot more free flowing. The training is different. I was like, playing with better players is different. And with saying that is that there's so many guys that don't make it to the NBA or get into the NBA, which is why I guess why why there's an uproar that can play in the NBA. Like that, like the 15th guy, I was like, can play in the NBA. Probably even more, but guess what? After you get, I was like, if you can't get in that 8-man, 10-man rotation, I was like, sometimes I was like, what I've sort of learned also from listening to a lot of the NBA players is that just because you do a good practice don't mean you actually gonna play. Like just like football, you gonna play. Basketball, what that mean? Oh yeah, you probably been beating James Harden ass every day in practice. You ain't getting on that court. You ain't starting over like that. Like they're only gonna be like one or two of y'all without a certain selection in the draft. Let's be honest. So I was like, does he have NBA talent? I think so. I was like, he could defend. I was like, he could shoot. There's already enough stuff there. He already could do things. I was like, he seemed like he's a team player and going to make his teammates better. Guess what? It's already attributes. It's already traits. So it is just basically, where does he go? I was like I said, I think there's a lot of people that got NBA talent that just don't make it to the NBA just because I didn't select you. That's all it is I didn't select you. And like I said, if you don't get selected, it is damn hard to make it at that point. Like, you don't get too many free, like, undrafted or walk on or whatever you want to call, however you want to call it, into the NBA like that. Like, look at all the people that pretty much nearly all drafted. So that means that you're on a team. You're getting some training. You get to be somewhere in there in the system for a minute. Carve out your role or whatever like that. And trying to work into that rotation. But even that is also harder depending on where you drafted. First round, guess what? You might get a shot. Second round might be a little bit more difficult. Now, if you outperform your other draft, like if there's another draft pick that looks different, then but you ain't gonna really do anything to the top 7. You're really not. Like, unless you're really like a young team or something like that, you're really not. You need like to vouch on everybody else. So that's why I'm saying, like, it really like it really doesn't matter. He just got it. Once he gets drafted, then it all doesn't matter. He's gonna get drafted, I think, in the first round, and we'll see what type of team he sort of goes to, cause like, you might be like Magic. You could probably go over there. I mean, they got Suggs who sort of like is a bigger version. But I'm just saying, like, that to me is better than like if you got drafted to Cleveland. There's too many small guards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, Sacramento, no. Um, I was like, Indiana, hmm. I was like, take over. I was like, take over for TJ McConnell at some point or something like that. Phoenix, hmm. I was like, they need a point guard. I was like, maybe not. I was like, not too bad, but I was like, they needed somebody with better experience. But anyway, just running my head through some ideas. But anyway, what do y'all think of Brownie? I mean, not Brownie, Bronny. And do you agree whatever I'm saying, or are you somebody that's like, no, his daddy and whatnot? But until then, I'm out.